Alright, look, crossovers are always fun, but very rarely do they get a clean thumbs up and genuine approval from the relevant communities, which is understandable. They do tend to leave a lot to be desired if we're being honest here. Just look at the Batman and Spawn crossover that we recently covered on this channel. I'll put the link in the description, but watch the video first, meaning watch this video first before you do, because you know, our brother Des needs his watch time.
What did he say?
In the crossover of Batman and Spawn, too much stuff was going on, and then we get a straight up slap in the face with the cliffhanger. Though I'm okay with a good cliffhanger because, hey, I do like Batman, I do like Spawn. But when you watch the video, if you haven't watched it already, I am sure you guys already are feeling it as well. But this one is different. From the humor, the visual styles, to the thematic value, and the homage to the respective series, I know this might sound controversial, but Batman and Pizza Time is the most ambitious crossover in DCU history. At least one of the most ambitious. It's pretty damn ambitious because they're just contrast. One's dark, one's humor. I mean, seriously though, I can imagine the direction asking the producer, how many pizza jokes you want? And the producer's like, well, yeah, pizza jokes too. We like pizza. Maybe the producer was hungry, but then again, we all have these pizza jokes, and yet none of the humor feels out of place, and it's pretty remarkable considering how there is a major difference in tone between Batman and the Ninja Turtles. And this is just one of the many things this movie does right. And of course, we'll be talking about all that and more in this video, so just sit tight, grab your pizza slice, and feel the vibe, man.
DJ Mikey in the house!
I don't know, maybe that kind of rhyme, it didn't, but just felt good. And the thing about crossovers is that unless they specifically base the entire film around comedy, the premise tends to get too convoluted or redundant. This then in turn leads to surface level character dynamics, and that is what leaves fans unsatisfied. However, Batman vs. TMNT absolutely nails the character dynamics, which is by far the single most important aspect in a crossover. I mean, who would have thought we'll hear Batman say cowabunga?
Cowabunga.
And he says it with the most expressionless face possible. No wonder Alfred was in disbelief. If he heard Batman say that, he would be in disbelief. Come on now. The character interaction between Batman, Batgirl, Robin, Alfred, and the Turtles is so natural that a person who isn't already familiar with these two series will have no reason to doubt that these guys aren't part of the same fictional verse. The film impressively combines the dark world of Gotham City with our fun, pizza-loving heroes from New York. From the beginning, there is no time wasted by having the Foot Clan invade Wayne Enterprises. The stage is set and the gap between these two universes has been bridged. Now, indeed, there are differences between the grim Gotham in Batman and New York City in TMNT, something that the characters, especially the Turtles, continuously acknowledge throughout the film. And it helps it by laying out the distinct identities of the two verses. Gotham and Batman are like the perfect counterbalance to New York and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, if I had to nitpick a little bit, I would say the film made Batman a bit too overpowered, but then again, it is Batman in comparison to the Turtles. Yes, you know, Batman being stronger, just taking them out one by one with little effort, especially after you got clapped on by Shredder in the first roundabout. I would like to see, you know, the Turtles get a little bit of an upper hand and Batman had to adjust and show that why he is Batman, but maybe that's just me being nitpicky a little bit. But then again, maybe our Bat Buddy was just too serious, but if all four Turtles were to actually succeed in overpowering Batman, actually no, that I don't think that it would feel that natural in my opinion. But then again, it might have felt more natural because the Shredder did overpower Batman in the first interaction and Batman was fighting her and he didn't have quite the edge as fighting the Ninja Turtles fresh. But then again, comment below, let me know your thoughts on that. Also, I'm an author of 4 books, link in description. Now, Alfred also has way too little screen time, but man, did he make every second of it count. Then we have Batgirl and Robin. They brought a much needed breath of fresh air. I mean, Batman would have probably burnt out if he had to deal with the Turtles all by himself. Now, once the dust settled between the two respective groups and Mikey got high on life by riding a dinosaur statue in a bat costume, that was kind of funny though. The entire group came together. Leo and Batman being the leaders of their cliques earned each other's respect. Donnie bonded with Batgirl thanks to his PC building skills, and well, Mikey and Ralph and Robin continued doing their thing, but they had a cool little bond too. Mikey was way too much fun during the film, to be fair. He never, not once, disappointed when he opened his mouth. On the other hand, we have the antagonist of the film. Well, the reason Batman and TMNT teamed up became a thing is because of their mutual enemies to begin with. The Foot Clan joined hands with the League of Assassins, and the Piggin was shamelessly made to be the butt of many jokes in this film. Shredder and Ra's al Ghul's goals conveniently aligned. Ra's can help Shredder achieve the pseudo immortality by going into the Lazarus Pit, which Shredder has Ra's al Ghul's ooze, which will allow Ra's to completely destroy Gotham by turning everyone into a mutated beast. Now the city will self-destruct, everyone will devour each other, and then when it's all done and dusted, he can recreate it in his own image. And it's pretty ambitious if you ask me, but that's exactly what you get from a guy like Roz. And this is what happens when you've been around the block for far too long. But if the partnership between these two insane studs wasn't enough, the film manages to bring back many of the other Gotham stars by breaking into Arkham Asylum. Roz and Shredder get what they need from the Joker, and in return, give him the good old ooze. This resulted in a prison breakout as Joker was now the new warden. Everyone from Bane, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Two-Face, and to our beloved Harley Quinn and the Joker all made an appearance in the film. And all these guys are already trouble, but now that they're banded together, and what if they're injected by the juice, by the ooze? At this point in the film, it's easy to get scared and fear that things may get too convoluted as always. Like, how is this story going to conclude if this entire plotline in one film when we have all these monstrosities entering the chat? But luckily, the primary focus of the film, which is still the character interaction between Batman Click and the Turtles, remained intact, and that resulted in everything working out at a much quicker pace. We also got treated to something everyone has imagined at least once: Batman on the juice. What would happen? Batman? Or should I say Man Batman? Bat. Anyways, all of a sudden the transformations were fun to watch. Joker as a viper, Harley as a hyena, and the rest. I mean, these transformations were probably based on which animal the individual has the most affinity with. And I wonder how it would have gone if the one getting juice was Robin and not Batman. But then again, Batman was larger stakes, and it's cool to show that Robin, Batgirl, and the Turtles had to work together to conform to this, to battle him out. But it would have been interesting. But comment below, let me know you guys' thoughts on that. Anyways, Batman's transformation brought in some quick drama to spice everything up, something that was definitely missing up to that point. Yeah, the Turtles had their trouble, but we knew that Batman and the others already know these villains and how it'll work out. However, this was different. This whole thing with Joker was a trap to begin with. Batman realizes that. The Turtles ended up holding him back in everything. When they are back at his place, he decides that it's about time that they go their separate ways, but this ends up bringing to note another wholesome thing about this film: the way it explored family and teamwork. Overall, the film was pretty simplistic in its approach and execution. That's why it's such a fun watch to begin with. But if we're talking about the thematic value, there's also something to be said how it explores teamwork and family. When Batman says this isn't a family, it's a team, and Raphael replies with, "Ain't that the same thing?" You can practically feel the pause and subtle clarity Batman experiences at that moment. He proceeds to look at Alfred, Batgirl, and Robin, and then he agrees. The thing I like about this scene is how normal it felt. It wasn't done dramatically at all, just casual, understandable discourse which simply redefined Batman's definition of the word family. Now that's very fitting. Guess this was just another way for me to say that a dark night such as Batman was turned into a pizza night thanks to these goof-fonts. Yeah, but needless to say, it worked out. All the coherent action sequences where they each eventually learn to build on each other's strengths shows just how like the Turtles ended up being positive influence on Batman, and he was a positive influence on them. Leo was dosed with Scarecrow's fear-inducing gas, which led to a moment of him temporarily schizophrenia where he saw his brothers die and melt away in his hands, but because Batman was there, he helped the guy snap out of it by telling him to channel his anger. Now Mikey had a blast when he was given the green light to press all the buttons in the Batmobile, something that our boy Robin always wanted to do, and well, as we talked about before, he even makes Batman say cowabunga, so he is still the main highlight of the film in my opinion, and that's a bias on my part because Michelangelo is my favorite turtle. They all develop a strong bond of trust and respect with each other. Now the scene Batman put forth in his hands and said, "Let's stop Roz and Shredder together," was pretty cool. It felt like the beginning of a lifelong friendship, so come on you guys at DC, do something and get us another film like this. We hungry.
Just do it!
Now the film did feel like a standalone homage to both franchises, and there were a few differences in comparison to the comics, but a couple more volumes came out after the films, so it looks like they do have the material for a possible sequel. I doubt they're going to do it, but man, we could always hope, right? All in all, the film was a nostalgic bomb, an entire goldmine of references. even if you haven't touched either series in years, you will still be prone to experience a sudden nostalgia, and if you think of yourself as someone with a good memory, you'll be going home with an entire basket full of Easter eggs, or maybe pizza. The film is just so much fun to talk about as it is to watch. Then again, it is what happens when you do fan service right. Next, let's talk about how the film preserves the unique aesthetics and visual styles of both series. While Batman is all about using dark, grim aesthetics, TMNT is more vibrant and colorful. The film does this not just by adding iconic buildings and graffiti in plain sight, but by also using a carefully balanced color palette that combines the dark world of Batman with the lively world of TMNT. The designs and the colors of transformations were also a good way to further cement the balance of aesthetics. And speaking of the character designs, as you can see, they are pretty in tune with their comic book roots, and it fits oddly well together. This also plays into more technical aspects, such as how the film combines the dynamic martial arts of the Turtles with the more grounded antics of Batman. Finally, to sum everything up, Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a kind of crossover that does justice to both the respective franchises and fans alike. Crossover sounds simple in theory, but combining two different verses together is not an easy task, if done right. The character dynamics sound plain and the story fails to be memorable, but this film does it right and much more. And it's not just the character dynamics either. The animation, the action sequences, the plot points, and the dialogue just naturally flows, which makes it super easy to watch and enjoy. That's right, I'm gonna say it. Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a classic example of a crossover done right, and it should be high up in the list of the best fictional crossovers of all time, and it's probably the best in recent times. I don't know if that's an exaggeration. Personally, I don't think so, but you guys comment below, let me know what you think. What you guys think of the video? Also, link in description if you wish to not only add some really cool TMNT stuff and Batman stuff, or my books, and some of our Rated Comics exclusives to your comic book collection. And if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Like the video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.